Anthony Joshua shook the boxing landscape the moment he announced he would be preparing for Jake Paul under the guidance of Oleksandr Usyk's team instead of his usual corner. Fans expected the build-up to be tense, but no one anticipated a shift this drastic, and the reaction was immediate: shock, backlash, curiosity, and a wave of speculation that hasn't stopped since. Joshua didn't just change trainers, he sided with a camp built on technical finesse, movement, and mental sharpness, a style crafted by the very man who once dismantled him in the ring. For many, it felt like a desperate reaction to a threat he refuses to acknowledge publicly, but one that clearly weighs on him. The announcement didn't come quietly. Standing under bright lights at the Casilla Center in Miami, Joshua explained the switch calmly while Jake Paul watched with a grin that bordered on disrespectful. Jake didn't need to say much. His expression alone suggested he believed he had forced Joshua into this corner. And that's where the narrative shifted. This isn't just a matchup anymore. This is a fight with reputational consequences, a crossroads where Joshua has everything to lose and Jake has everything to gain. Joshua's resume speaks for itself: global stardom, heavyweight titles, war-tested experience, but experience doesn't erase vulnerabilities. His chin has been questioned for years, his composure under fire has wavered, and every time he gets caught clean, the world watches his legs betray him. Changing coaches isn't going to harden punch resistance, and that's the silent fear circulating across social platforms and late-night boxing debates. Jake isn't the biggest puncher in heavyweight history, but he doesn't need to be. All he needs is timing, opportunity, and one clean shot. And for the first time, Joshua's camp appears to be preparing not simply to dominate, but to survive. Standing face-to-face at the kickoff press conference, their size difference was obvious: Joshua towering at 6 feet 6 inches, Jake at 6 feet 1 inch, compact and explosive. Traditionally, being shorter is a disadvantage, but in this matchup it may become a nightmare for Joshua. Jake's shots will come from angles and elevations Joshua isn't conditioned to deal with. He's used to defending straight, downward attacks from giants. Now he'll be dealing with punches rising from below his line of sight, thrown with unexpected rhythm. It's a completely different puzzle, and that's exactly where Jake plans to strike. When Jake was asked how he sees the fight unfolding, he didn't hesitate. 4th or 5th round knockout. Simple, blunt, delivered without hesitation. He didn't talk about points, strategy, or caution. He talked about ending the fight early before Joshua's size and conditioning can take over. His prediction wasn't arrogance, it was calculation. Jake knows he isn't built for long-distance battles against someone who has shared rings with Vladimir Klitschko, Usyk, Povetkin, Parker, Takam, and White. His win condition is simple: create chaos early, land the right shot, and end the night before Joshua settles in. Joshua reacted with composure, but tension flashed in his expression every time Jake brought up pressure. Jake kept hammering the same narrative: Joshua will fold the moment things go wrong. And the truth is, history gives that claim weight. The moments where Joshua unraveled, Ruiz, Usyk, Dubois, they weren't minor setbacks, they were complete collapses of momentum. Once cracks appeared, they split wide open. Even the legendary Klitschko fight, a win, came with warning signs. Had Klitschko pressed harder from round 7 to 10, that night may have ended differently. That's the storm Jake is planning to recreate. But Joshua believes he's entering this fight smarter, not softer. Training with Usyk's camp means a shift toward rhythm, angles, adaptability, and mental structure. He wants to move like the man who beat him. There's logic there, but switching systems this late carries its own risks. New styles take time. New corners change instinctive reactions. Every hesitation, every unfamiliar adjustment, every moment of second-guessing could open windows Jake doesn't need long to exploit. Joshua insists he's not reinventing himself, just sharpening tools. Yet the tone of his explanation felt less like evolution and more like protection, like a man preparing for something he refuses to underestimate. The strategy most expect from Joshua is simple. Come forward early, break Jake down, impose size, and don't let the fight become technical. The longer they trade chess moves, the more chaos favors Jake. Joshua's power could end this clean and early. But if he waits, if he boxes too politely, if he tries to perform instead of dominate, Jake only needs one moment to flip the script. Standing under the lights after the press event wrapped, both men walked away in opposite moods, Jake energized, laughing, calling out to the cameras, Joshua serious, focused, disappearing behind security and trainers. Two men preparing for the same fight, but one carrying the weight of legacy while the other walks free with nothing to lose. The world will tune in not because the matchup makes sense on paper, but because everything familiar about boxing is colliding with everything unpredictable. If Joshua wins, he restores order and power remains where tradition says it belongs. If Jake wins, he detonates the foundations of the sport in real time, and the shockwaves will echo far beyond one night in Miami. Whatever happens on December 19th, no one will watch casually. So viewers, that's all for today's video. Subscribe Fight Shire for more of this kind of content.